गुड इवनिंग एंड वेलकम टू गना शॉट। गना शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है। जय हिंद, प्रणाम, वणक्कम एंड सत श्री अकाल। आज हम देखेंगे ब्रिक पैक्ट्स, PEW व्यूज ऑन चाइना, एंड ऑफ कोर्स we'll have an open house question answer session. But first let me go over a little update so that I set the stage कि क्या करना है आगे. First, some feedback. I've been getting some trolls from China और पाकिस्तान में. ये मेरे को नहीं पता कहाँ से है, but मेरी तरफ से it's a good sign. You know, when someone says ये Indian channel है or only for Indians, don't watch it. It's a good sign. So if you do come across such, so please deal with them appropriately. Okay, then I keep getting feedback whether I should speak in Hindi और हमें अंग्रेजी में बात करना है. और मेरा बड़ा क्लियर है, जहाँ तक हो सके मैं हिंदी और अंग्रेजी दोनों में बात करूंगा. द रीजन इज सिंपल. काफी लोग हमारे जो व्यूअर्स हैं वो हिंदी जानते हैं. मेनी पीपल नो ओनली इंग्लिश, सो आई हैव टू मेंटेन अ बैलेंस. आई इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल for me to have a separate English channel or a Hindi channel, right? And right, and so wherever the guest is comfortable, जो भी आता है मैं बुलाता हूँ. अगर उनका comfort zone is in English, I let him speak in English. उनका comfort zone हिंदी है तो वो हिंदी में बात करते हैं. So that is a part of this channel. So we'll right. Then a lot of people who are saying, sir, their inadequate views, don't get disheartened, वगैरह वगैरह. I am not disheartened at all. मैं थोड़ा डीट आदमी हूँ. I'll persist. Well, persist because I think, मेरे हिसाब से, I am getting into a space where no one else is around. I know it's difficult for people to come and watch this channel because it's all serious. And we mean business. But then we need a lot of people who need business in this country and not continue with YouTube as as an entertainment channel and talk all nonsense. I would like to give considered opinions so that serious people can make their views about the whole affair, right? And I'm not too bothered about number of views coming and all. They'll increase. And I just started this channel 4-5 months back, and I've got pretty good हमारे पास response आया है. I can already say Anand saying in English, but Anand, I have to speak in both languages, right? So my request is help me spread this message, and get more people on Gunner Shot. Get more of your friends who have the intelligence to ask good questions, and so that we have informed discussion. The kind of questions which I get from all of you are very heartening. I like tough questions. Then it makes us think. It makes everyone think. So as far as future topics are concerned, I'm going to do 2 on Pakistan, one including their nuclear posturing, which they're now started doing in some manner next week with Brigadier Arun Sehgal. And then, of course, they've got a bit aggressive. जैसे इनको loan मिल गया, they've got a bit aggressive. So I'm getting General Dushyant Singh and Brigadier Sehgal alag. We'll have 2 separate episodes. And on China, I finally decided on Tuesday we'll go over Xi Jinping. ये आदमी क्या है? What are his beliefs? What are his what makes Xi Jinping? How has he behaved? What are his leadership traits? I've done a bit of analysis. I'll put it across, and then I'll leave it to you as to where this thing is, and I'll like some feedback on that. You can send it around. Okay. And then, of course, I'm going to do a book discussion with General Rajiv Narayanan, because he has written a book on China, and we'll discuss. After all, that's how it was. That's how it is. And I'm going to have an interesting discussion with a few young people on the youth of China sometime towards the end of the week. So this is what the future topics are. And then, of course, thereafter, like yesterday, I took everyone onto the Siliguri corridor. Sometime the third week or the fourth week of this month, I'll take everyone into Arunachal Pradesh. And at least in the Arunachal Pradesh has got two parts. One is the Tawang tract, and the rest is the rest of Arunachal Pradesh. So I'll take you into the rest of Arunachal Pradesh again with General Narayanan, because he's commanded his division there. Of course, I'll anchor all this because I have good knowledge about the East. Okay, so with this today I'm going to have a bit of a peep into what the Pew has come out with. Pew has come out with analysis on China, and the BRICS is going to happen next month. This month, later this month, we'll discuss about BRICS later. But in the run-up, there is a bit of a kitbit between India and China. That we'll see how the thing is unfolding, and it will have ramifications down the line. आगे जाके ये किटपिट अभी जो शुरू हुआ है, आगे जाके it has this thing, and the Pew का जो report है, that has a ramification on BRICS also. The thing which set me off is ये जो report आया था South China Morning Post से, इन्होंने बड़ा क्लियर बताया है कि views of China are broadly negative in India and Brazil. Now that's important because India and Brazil are the B and the I of the BRICS. And with Russia almost in a neutral position and in a weakened state, so this assumes importance. What does this South China Morning Post report say? If you see, he talks of unfavorable perceptions of China has surged by 21 percentage points in both India and Brazil. Okay, compared with 2019. I'll show the figures a little later. So what are the main issues? Human rights concerns, China-India border dispute, coronavirus pandemic. Coronavirus pandemic has affected Brazil because the vaccines which uh, China gave to Brazil were useless. And so the negative sentiment there. Of course, for us, though, we are very clear where we are with China. But let's look at the Pew report. What does the Pew report say? And it is very significant. It is significant because China is trying to establish a Sino-centric world order. What is the Sino-centric world order? मैं अगला हफ्ता या कभी भी जब मौका मिलेगा, I will talk about it. I've compiled what a Sino-centric world order will look like. I'll put it out or have a live program on that. देखते हैं कैसे करना है. Now the views of China are largely unfavorable. 67% of the countries which have been surveyed say they are unfavorable. Only 28% say they are favorable. As far as the global role of China is concerned, percentage who say China interfere in the other affairs of the other countries, 57% say they interfere. Only 35% say they don't interfere. Percentage who say China contributes to peace and stability around the world, there are only 23% who say China contributes to peace. That means it contributes to war or instability. And 72% feel it doesn't. That's a fair measure internationally. अगर ये हालत है कि इतने लोग बोलते हैं कि चाइना डजंट कंट्रीब्यूट टू पीस, शांति नहीं स्थापित कर सकता है, तो फिर काय का ये साइनोसेंट्रिक वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर है? ये धक्के से हो रहा है क्या? बाय ऑर्डर, बाय जी जिनपिंग्स ऑर्डर. और परसेंटेज उसे चाइना takes into account the interests of other countries, only 22. 72 feel that China looks to itself and other countries' interests, it be damned. Okay. Now, if you see the worldwide spread, where all it is dark, those countries don't like China. And most of these European countries, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Italy, Netherlands, Poland, Spain, Sweden, UK, all these don't like China by a wide majority, over 65%. In our country, it is 67%, don't like China. That's quite a large number and quite a large number of influential countries. Now, because of this, इसके कारण इनका एक्सपोर्ट्स जो है, चाइना का एक्सपोर्ट जो है इन देशों में नहीं जा रहा है, कम हो रहा है. एंड इसके साथ साथ अगर आप देखेंगे तो जो ईयू का स्ट्रेटजी निकला है और जर्मनी का स्ट्रेटजी अगेंस्ट चाइना on de-risking and decoupling nikla hai, which I will discuss sometime down the line. It correlates the views of people, the strategies of the countries, the reduction in the exports, everything correlates. Now, if you all correlate, where will China go? How do you think Chinese economy will go up? So people who say that China will become a great economic power still, after all this, need to have their heads examined. Okay, this is the view of Xi Jinping. Now, the majority of the countries feel Xi Jinping, is useless, or rather, they don't have confidence in Xi Jinping. Right? There's the who has confidence in Xi Jinping? Indonesia, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa. The surprise in this is Indonesia, but then we'll see how things go along, right? But even the Latin American countries don't like Xi Jinping. Mexico, Argentina, आप बीच में देखिए. Okay, okay. Now you see, this is the thing, how things have moved. Record high negative ratings for China in the most countries which I have surveyed. Most of the countries. The blue ones are the ones where they at some point of time had the least liking. Or rather, his rating was probably the best. And the green ones are where Chinese are today. And if you see Brazil and India, in this you see 21% increase. I'll just amplify that. Okay, अगर आप देखिए Brazil and India, India, the rating most favorable for rating for China was in 2015. Even then, only 32% liked China, right? Or rather, least favorable. 67% were okay with it. Today, it is 67%. So there's an increase in 21% who are against China now. Brazil, in 2017, only 25% found it unfavorable. Today, it is 48%. It has gone up by 21%. Now, 21% is also a significant shift, right? So there is a change, and that change is going to talk, and that's going to happen in BRICS. It's going to, create problems in BRICS. Okay, why it will create problems in BRICS? Not for everyone. It will create problems for China because this great China-centric world order, China wants to push it through the BRICS. That's the vehicle they're trying, and how they're trying, we'll just come to it. Okay, I've correlated PEWs with BRICS. Okay, as far as the technological achievements, are there. As far as technological advancements concerned, that about 19% in the world feel the Chinese technology is the best. But the second one is interesting. Only 8% feel their military power is the best. So many of us in India have to revise this thinking. कि उनके पास सबसे बड़ा military power है. And I always said they don't have a great military power. Okay, universities, entertainment, and all, you keep going. Standard of living only 3%. Okay, so you find that worldwide people really are quite aware what China is, and we in India for some reason feel inadequate. Many of us in front of China because some of the comments जो हमें मिलता है इस feedback में ये जाहिर करता है कि भाई China is still ahead. Okay, it is not really. I mean, they've gone ahead on many issues, but I don't think they're that great. Okay. Now, if you look at America, 50% of the Americans are more feel that China is their greatest threat. So that won't change in a hurry. When people don't like you, it's very difficult to change that perception. And just think, अगर 6 महीने 6 साल पहले 5 6 साल पहले China was the darling of USA. It was the darling of the world. We were expecting so many things, but nothing has happened. Today, it's not the darling of most. As a result, you find this wave going against China, and it's difficult to reverse. And that's because of Xi Jinping. How Xi Jinping has done this? What's his Sinocentric world order? A two different episode. I will do it within the week, 10 days. Right? We have to understand what's happening in China. Only when you understand what's happening in China, then can you appreciate what's happening in India. So let's come to the crux or the saransh iska kya hai. Majority in most countries do not think China takes into account the interests of countries like this. कोई उनका परवाह ही नहीं है। 70%, 71% सोचते हैं कि चाइना डस कुछ नहीं करता उनके लिए, और कुछ नहीं उनके लिए नहीं, ग्लोबल पीस शांति के लिए भी कुछ नहीं करता। Australians, Canadians, Indians, Israelis and South Koreans are particularly likely to say China is doing nothing at all. ये सब देशों के निवासी ये सोचते हैं कि चाइना उनके लिए कुछ नहीं कर रहा, और ये सब सोचते, मोस्ट पीपल, बहुत लोग सोचते हैं कि चाइना क्या है, दखलंदाजी करता है। ओके, और इनके 57% ये बोलते हैं कि दखलंदाजी ज्यादातर करता है। ओके, 7 in 10 यानी 10 अगर लोग हैं तो 70% लोग ऑस्ट्रेलिया, कनाडा, जापान, कोरिया, स्पेन एंड यूएसए सी चाइना गेटिंग इन्वॉल्व्ड इन अफेयर्स ऑफ अदर कंट्रीज, दखलंदाजी। ओके, और ये जो देश है वही देश है जिन्होंने पिछले साल भी यही राय दिया था कि चाइना ज्यादातर बाकी देशों के अंदर दखलंदाजी करता है और वो खुद आइसोलेट रहता है। ये लास्ट चीज जो है ना, बड़ा शिफ्ट है। द कंट्री विच इज मोस्ट लाइकली टू सी चाइना इंटरफेयरिंग इन द अफेयर्स ऑफ अदर कंट्रीज इन दिस ईयर सर्वे इज इटली, 82%। क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है? 82% इटालियन सोचते हैं कि बाकी देशों में चाइना दखलंदाजी करता है। ये बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है कि 2-3 साल पहले सब सोचते थे कि चाइना जो है इटली के ऊपर हावी हो गया, और इटली एकमात्र देश था जो G7 कंट्रीज में से इन्होंने BRI में शामिल होने के लिए हस्ताक्षर किया। तो ये शिफ्ट है, बड़ा शिफ्ट है, ये उतना आसान नहीं है। इटली भी पुल आउट करना चाहता है BRI में, और ऑस्ट्रेलिया जो विक्टोरिया का स्टेट है उन्होंने भी कैंसिल कर दिया। ये थोड़ा डेवलप्ड नेशंस हैं जिन्होंने बाय बाय बोल दिया ये BRI को। ओके, नेक्स्ट, इसी के मुताबिक इन्होंने ये ग्लोबल टाइम्स हैज रिएक्टेड, इन्होंने ये लिखा है कि इटली इज मिसकैलकुलेटिंग, राइट, एंड से इट यूजेस BRI कोऑपरेशन फॉर अ डील विद US। वो इनको चेतावनी भी दे रहे हैं इसमें। ये नीचे लिखा है, इटली इज मिसकैलकुलेटिंग इफ इट थिंक्स it can obtain something from the US by sacrificing multilateral cooperation with China's Belt and Road Initiative. So वर्चुअली इसके बाद जो है ना, यूरोप के माने हुए देशों से चाइना इज आउट। ओके, नेक्स्ट हम इंडिया में आते हैं। इंडिया में तो एक्चुअली टुडे इट्स ऑलमोस्ट लाइक ओपन, आई वोंट से कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, बट इट्स वेरी क्लियर कि हमारा और चाइना का बनेगा नहीं, और अभी ये उभर के आ रहा है, वी आर टेकिंग अ स्टैंड। हाल ही में हमने Xiaomi को ऊपर वी पुट लॉट ऑफ फाइन्स ऑन Xiaomi, इनके ऊपर फाइन लगा दिया क्योंकि ये टैक्स एवेडिंग कर रहे थे, और इनका पूरा ऑपरेशन शट आउट कर दिया। इसके तहत इनका शेयर जो है ना 15% से लेकर डाउन हो गया। ये पहले इनका शेयर इन और मोबाइल मार्केट तकरीबन 28% था, अभी 15%, आधा घट गया है। और कई जगह में तो ये मोबाइल यूनिट्स बनाना छोड़ दिया, इन्होंने एंसिलरीज बना रहे हैं। और इसके पीछे क्या है कि चाइना इज, बार बार मैं देखते रहता हूँ आर्टिकल्स कि चाइना सपोर्टिंग Xiaomi, स्टेट सपोर्ट है। जब अदानी का प्रॉब्लम ऑस्ट्रेलिया में होता है, इंडिया जाके उसको सपोर्ट नहीं करता, पर कोई भी चाइनीज कंपनी का प्रॉब्लम कहीं भी होता है तो चाइना खुद आके धमकी देना शुरू कर देता है। इसके बारे में भी बहुत आर्टिकल्स हैं ऐसे, राइट। इन्होंने क्या किया, चला कि इन्होंने स्टेपल्ड वीजा शुरू कर दिया अरुणाचल से 3 लड़के जो है हमारे एथलीट्स, यूनिवर्सिटी, वर्ल्ड यूनिवर्सिटी गेम्स जो चाइना में चल रहा है उसमें जाना था। इन्होंने बोला कि क्योंकि आप अरुणाचल से हो, आपको स्टेपल्ड वीजा मिलेगा, नॉर्मल वीजा नहीं मिलेगा। स्टेपल्ड वीजा का स्टार्ट दे स्टार्टेड इन JNK आल्सो 5-6 years बैक, अभी भी शुरू किया। सो वी हैव विड्रॉन फ्रॉम द वर्ल्ड यूनिवर्सिटी गेम्स, राइट। वी हैव टू नाउ रिकैलिब्रेट, वी हैव टू डू समथिंग। हम क्यों ना स्टेपल्ड वीजा दें, जो भी तिब्बत का है, जिंजियांग का है, हांगकांग का है, हम बोलेंगे भाई स्टेपल्ड वीजा ही देंगे हम। ये तरीका ये है, दूसरा तरीका ये वन चाइना पॉलिसी को नाकार कर देंगे। करना चाहिए, क्यों वन या ताइवान को सपोर्ट करो। सो अगर ये ऐसे उतर आएंगे तो हमें भी कुछ करना पड़ेगा। और ये मैंने ये पिछले इसमें भी बताया कि दे आर ट्राइंग टू come near us, but they don't want to come anything. They want us to open our market. They want us to do everything. They want to keep the border at the appropriate place. Appropriate place क्या है कि जो है वो हमारे लिए है, पर आप अपना मार्केट्स खोल दो. That's not something which we should bother about. And India has just rejected a proposal by BWD for electric cars and batteries, EVs. So what's the reaction? Because we don't want China here. Reaction is this. Wang Yi. He says China urges to stabilize this for mutual benefit. Mutual benefit is whose benefit? Only China's benefit. Their concept of mutual benefit is China's benefit. Their concept of win-win is China wins and China wins. Their concept is halfway is China's line. You have to do the halfway, he'll not move anything. Right? So all these things are part of the whole story. But that doesn't stop us from doing what we want. Foxconn is already in Chennai. They want to expand and set up another unit out here. Okay, right? Then there's a lot of ये ब्रिक्स के ऊपर काफी चर्चा है साउथ चाइना मॉर्निंग पोस्ट में. ये बोलते हैं कि कैन ब्रिक्स बी द टॉर्च बेरर फॉर एमर्जिंग वर्ल्ड चैलेंज द एस्टैब्लिश्ड ऑर्डर. इसका मतलब क्या है कि द articles from here and Global Times suggest that BRICS will be the platform. China हावी हो जाएगा, उसके बाद from here it will be the world order as per this thing. That is why they want to expand BRICS. China is pushing to expand BRICS. They want BRICS से 15-20 और मेंबर हो जाए जो चाइना के साथ है, उसके साथ they'll start challenging UN. That's the idea. But in this, right? Okay, now let me go through the whole thing one by one and we'll get to what it is. Wang Yi, there was this, security meet in Johannesburg where all the security czars of BRICS nations got together. There he urges BRICS for cyberspace fairness. Now again, अगर आपको याद है तो 2-3 हफ्ते पहले I did a program with जनरल नरसिम्हन, जो उन्होंने उस वक्त बताया था कि उनका ग्लोबल इनिशिएटिव्स क्या है. BRI है, एक डेवलपमेंटल इनिशिएटिव है, एक सिविलाइजेशनल इनिशिएटिव है, और उसमें एक साइबर इनिशिएटिव भी है, where they want to lay the rules. So the cyberspace fairness means they'll lay the rules and all of us think. And they're saying, oppose the hegemony of developing nations. Basically, it is not opposing the hegemony of developing nations, but to accept the hegemony of China. That's the whole story. Okay. Then he talks of global south to make voice heard in changing global order, world order. What is this changing world order? Changing world order is equivalent to the Sinocentric world order. So he's canvassing already. So in this BRICS meet, we can see, हमें देखने के लिए मिलेगा कि ये चाइना का मूव क्या है टू एस्टैब्लिश एन अल्टरनेट वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर, और वो साइनोसेंट्रिक वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर कैसे लगेगा मैं आपको बताऊंगा. ओके, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट यह है कि ये भी है, चेतावनी हमें दे रहे हैं, वेदर इंडिया चाइना सपोर्ट और एग्जॉस्ट ईच अदर विल डायरेक्टली अफेक्ट देयर डेवलपमेंट प्रोसेस, ग्लोबल लैंडस्केप. चेतावनी दे रहे हैं कि भाई हमें साथ come and join us, otherwise we'll corner you and things like that. But they also started to realize कि India is important. ये भी मैं बता के आ रहा हूँ. But China being China, it will remain aggressive. So in all this, we have to also be careful that they can do something funny on the border. That also we'll discuss in due course. And then, last but not the least, this is a Bloomberg report which says China's push to expand BRICS membership falters because India doesn't want many of these countries who are completely aligned with the BRICS, or rather completely aligned with China, to come into the BRICS. And Brazil is also a little uncomfortable with the fact that if बहुत लोग आ जाते हैं, so it'll have a problem domestically because we've seen the negativity in this whole thing. तो ये था आज का update on uh, the Pew reports and the BRICS. What is going to happen? Uh, this is just a superficial analysis. I will do in-depth analysis a little later, just about a week or 10 days or 5 days before the BRICS summit. Okay. Thank you for today's update. Now we'll take on questions, right? Okay. आज का question. Okay. पहला question, can we bring more guests from the Indian Air Force in future episodes? We didn't get enough, we don't get enough insight and knowledge from their side. तुषार, मेरा कोशिश तो यही है कि इंडियन एयरफोर्स का कोई आके हमारे साथ बात करे, पर बहुत लोग है ही नहीं. आई रिक्वेस्टेड एयर मार्शल सचदेवा कि अगला हफ्ता कभी जाके वो आके दो बात करेंगे. लेट्स सी. ओके. Anand, thank you. I want stop watching all of the channels. No, SM, don't do that. Watch other channels also. You'll get a different idea. It's not necessary that you have to get my thing alone. So go through everything. It'll be good, right? It'll widen your horizon. You should not be only with one. Okay. Uh, if we start aggression against Pakistan, like what Israel is doing against Gaza, can we permanently stop terrorism? Even if one soldier dies, it feels bad for. Look, uh, that doesn't work. It doesn't work at all with Pakistan. As of today, if you become aggressive with Pakistan, you are giving a chance for them to start focusing on you. The day they start focusing on you, they will stop looking inward. It doesn't matter what happens to them. That's bad for us. मैं बार बार बताता रहा हूँ, the best Pakistan is a Pakistan which looks inward or westward. Let them look there. आज भी एक एक्सप्लोशन हुआ है, लगता है 40 लोग का जीव, they've lost life in Bajor. That explosion most probably TTP will claim it or something like someone like that. So they'll look that side. Let them look. अगर आप भी यहाँ से कुछ करोगे, then they'll look this side. यहाँ if you look at it, they'll only talk nuclear. वो हालत में आ गए ये. Should we do all that? Be patient. Okay. Right. So my almost my whole college batch is. Oh, thank you, Ashish. On a lighter side, I like your mustache very much. Yeah, good. I'm glad you like my mustache. Okay, and get more of your people to join in because and I would also like if you are from your college boys, friends are joining, what subjects you want, and if your college wants your college, if you want, you get in touch with me. We'll have a show for your college separately with participants from your college, your friends. I don't mind. I want to promote youth. If youth of our nation, especially from uh, s- specific colleges, want to participate in strategic discussions, I'm more than happy. I'll be very happy. In fact, I've done two with Chennai Center for China Studies. I'm doing one with OP General International next weekend. So I want to do this. देखिए, I want to make Ghana Shot a vibrant channel where there's a lot of participation from all of you. That's why every week I talk to you like this. Okay, one analyst on YouTube was saying for Kargil war, why India didn't cross LOC and snatch Kashmir. देखिए, सारे बोलते हैं, but I will go back to look. I was there, and I also wanted to cross. We were ready to cross. जब अगले दिन हम क्रॉस करने वाले थे, जब ये सीज फायर हो गया था. अभी उस वक्त मेरे को हमारा वाजपेयी जी ने जो बोला वो बड़ा अभी तक मेरा कान में गूंज रहा है. उन्होंने ये बोला, लड़ाई में जाना आसान है, पर उसका परिणाम निकालना मुश्किल है. क्या होगा, एग्जिट पॉलिसी क्या है? देन विदाउट एग्जिट पॉलिसी यू डोंट गो इनटू अ वॉर. Okay, and snatching and all that means nothing. Okay, then you would have lost all the international goodwill you had gained. And India was not in such a great shape उस वक्त to keep going wherever you wanted. So people can talk what they want. I have no problem. But मेरी तरफ से what we did was the best. One of the best things you did. You fought a war. You got the political outcomes. What you wanted. जो जिसको पता नहीं है, those are days of huge terrorism. We had a huge problem in the hinterland. Okay. In fact, जब वो कारगिल वॉर खत्म हो गया था, वहां में हम एक साल तक काउंटर इंसर्जेंसी ऑप्सी करते रहे. उसके बाद हम वापस चले गए सिलीगुड़ी. सिलीगुड़ी से मेरा यूनिट को वहां, यूनिट ने बहुत लोग, बहुत यूनिटों को लेके गए थे ईस्ट वेस्ट में. Yeah, I would love to see a. You'll see it. We'll discuss Arunachal completely. Is India ready to prepare to war with China? Look, no nation is ready to go for a war with another nation. Neither China nor India. अगर लड़ाई होगा तो we'll fight. We are prepared for it. इसमें doubt नहीं है. ये नहीं कि अगर आज, if today the war is imposed on us, we'll fight. If it is for 4 years later, we'll fight. Anytime you are ready to fight and defend your territory. But the question is, should you go for war? याद रखिए, war is, मैं एक बार बार बताता रहता हूँ, politics by other means. If you do not have a geopolitical outcome because of the war, then it's not worth fighting that war. What is your outcome when you want to fight that war? And if you see, China is not at this point of time doing nothing. And I'll sometime during this month itself, I'll explain to you why China cannot go to war. I'm very convinced that China can't fight with anyone at this point of time. You have to, before you go to war, you should be ready economically. You should be ready with your people. You should be having world opinion on your side. अभी देखिए, अभी तो मैंने PEW का दिखाया, world opinion बिल्कुल चाइना के अगेंस्ट है. वर्ल्ड ओपिनियन के बिना आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते हो. Why did Pakistan lose Kargil? Kargil they lost because world opinion was against them. Why did they lose 1971 war? World opinion was against them. So you have to set the stage. उसके लिए they know this thing. Okay. If China increases aggression, can India grow? Yeah, we can. Look, can India withdraw from one China policy? We've already done that. India is one of the few countries which has dropped the one China policy, not officially, but unofficially we have stopped. One last year, I remember the ambassador here, he came out and said, India should adopt the one China policy and give a statement out like this. He was told, get lost and shut up. Most of our parliamentarians said, who are you to tell what we have to do? And many of them said, we don't recognize the one China policy. It's a very good option. I think now is the time. A staple visa ke tahat we should say so. Okay, there is a lot of news on China wanting to induct Indonesia and Saudi Arabia join BRICS, but India and not South Africa, Brazil. Right, China is in favor. जैसे मैंने बोला, China wants to expand BRICS with those nations which are favorable to it. China wants to expand the Shanghai Cooperation Organization also with those nations which are pro-China. And it wants to use the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and BRICS to set up an alternate Sino-centric world order. यही तो हमने बताया है update में. Okay, I may be wrong, but I have a feeling that defense procurement was easy during pre-Bofors scandal days. Can we bring back those days? Even in those days, we had IAS politicians. Maximilian, to an extent you're right, and to an extent you're not. I'll tell you why. उन दिनों में ज्यादा rules regulations नहीं था. We didn't have a defense procurement procedure. We didn't have many things, so we could do a lot of things. But in those days, we didn't have to do so much procurement. We didn't have so much money in the kitty. So the sums were small. It was only Bofors which was a huge sum, and that huge sum was only 400 crores. That was also huge, and that put us into this thing. So because the sum increased, the costs increased, the amount of exports increased. Uh, you know, we've had to have these procedures because it's all money in the game. And one of the outcomes of the Bofors scandal was that neither we could import well nor could we develop because the like I said कि जब मैं कारगिल का वो आर्टिलरी के बारे में बात कर रहा था, we had complete TOT, everything about Bofors. Actually, we should have indigenized and we should have had a tremendous fleet of artillery by now. But we didn't even do TOT of that and operationalize the TOT. It that Bofors scandal, it set us back by about 2 decades. But then the Bofors won the war for us, and that's when we realized we've been foolish and we restarted the whole game. And then, of course, we've had unstable governments also, right? So Bofors we could do because the government of the day was stable. Uh, can India unify POK as Germany? No, I don't think so. See, Sayantan, you seem to have a Pakistani fixation and a POK fixation. Will you accept 4 million Muslims? What is your policy? So be careful when you talk. I want POK. We don't have a policy, and we cannot. And taking back POK is a 25-year program. We have not started the first year of that also. Can you bring some people from Army Air Corps? I will. I'll ask someone. Yeah. Some topics discuss about logistics. We are talking on third, I think, with General Gautam Murthy. But Army aviation, I'll talk. Okay. Uh, I read the survey in detail a few thing and was broadly surprised by the positives used that in nations. So was I. I really didn't have any thing. Maybe Pew has gone wrong. Who knows? Let's see how it comes out. Respected sir, if DMA can produce white paper for 10 years, it would be beneficial. Whatever political party comes, they have to follow these defense policies. If not, we could be going nowhere. Um, India does not have a habit of producing white papers. It does not have a tradition of producing white papers. So, but we have a tradition of having everything on file, and that's tight. And my experiences, government in this aspect have not wavered. They go by whatever has said earlier. So I'm quite hopeful. I'm not. Yeah, Pampas. These are mere no. I don't think so. They are all focused. If you see, there's a pattern. There are pattern in the way China is operating. Our focus should be high tech and all that. Yeah, we'll do it. That also we have to do. We are a huge country. You have to be able to handle many things if you want to be a huge country. Okay. Why DRDO not successful if we compare it to ISRO? Culture. I've worked with ISRO, I've worked with DRDO. Culture. DRDO has a more bureaucratic culture, and they have excelled in the field of missiles and rockets beautifully because their uh, uh, Dr. Abdul Kalam brought the ISRO culture into DRDL, one lab, and he revolutionized that culture there. So they have started producing like ISRO. But the rest of the DRDO is more bureaucratic. That is why they have not moved forward. It's very clear. They know it. Unfortunately, they can't change. For some reason, they need an outright push. Unless the government gets down to it, it's not. One China policy is agreed by almost whole world, including USA and India. India is the only country which has said okay and has gone back on it. Okay. You will not get isolated because you're already practicing 50% no. Okay, there's no backlash. No, nothing has happened so far. This policy of being ambiguous on one China has been in effect for the past 5 6 years. So when ye, Ashish, it happened when they started issuing stapled visas for people from JNK. जिस दिन उन्होंने staple visa शुरू किया for people from JNK, we dropped the one China policy. Very subtly, we didn't talk, we didn't mention, but we stopped you applying that. The moment that happened, they reverted back to normal. Now we have to be a little more vocal. That's about all. So don't worry about it. India should leave BRICS and join. No, we should not leave. You remember, you are in the enemy's camp. You are the listening post there. You can do more harm to China and get China into a stalemate by being next to them. If you are out of BRICS, they'll have their way. देखिए, governments have to function differently. Yeah. Yeah, JBJP, I've seen your thing. There's nothing very. I agree there won't be friendly relations with China for the next 30, 40 years at least. Consequently, we have two hostile great powers side by side. How do you see it playing out in the long run? We not only have two hostile neighbors, we are going to see Pakistan going bad to worse. Today, I was listening to a long discussion between Zahid Hussain and Parvez Hoodboy. And the thing is Pakistan failing? So there are a lot of people in that audience who are saying Pakistan is a failed state already, and they say the next 20, 30 years they can't recover. So they have to start looking inward. They have a lot of problems of water. They have problems of population. Um, this IMF things are not very great. If you see the IMF report which they have come out, it's useless. I mean, about Pakistan. So if you take all this into account, Pakistan is going to keep looking inward, and Afghanistan and the problem of TTP will not disappear. So Pakistan will get, yeah, but there's a duality in Pakistan because they are militarizing. They're militarizing at a great pace. That duality is something which we have to handle, right? And that's what our next week's discussion with General Dushan Singh and Brigadier Arun Saigal is all about. Join it. Tell your friends also to join, because we got to look at this duality of Pakistan, which you actually put up. As far as China is concerned, uh, China's economy also is not going to recover in a hurry. It's going to flatten out. Okay. And I'm going to do this analysis on the Chinese capability to go to war. And why will they go to war? What will be the outcomes? Maybe I'll take a month, maybe I'll take a little more, but I'm going to do it. I've started it. Like I told you, it took me a month to get my hands on Xi Jinping and his ideas, and then come out with something. What is this? Uh, you know, uh, Sinocentric world order. I'm ready with it. I just need time to present it to all of you. I've also done an analysis on the debt bubble of China, and I've come to the great realization that debt bubble will never burst. But why it will not burst, how is it going to affect China, is something I've just finished the analysis. I'll put it in some presentation form, or I'll put it out as a video, or I'll do a live show on it. How long will it continue with purges, and what is the possibility of a reactionary group emerging? That's $1 million question. Purges will continue with Xi Jinping. There's no doubt about it, Vishnathan. So, will the reactionary group come? We don't know because it's a closed society. Is there any indications of that? I don't know because Xi Jinping is taking tremendous U-turns. That's something else I'll talk when I discuss Xi Jinping. I'll do it. Xi Jinping, though, definitely I'm doing on Tuesday. Tuesday evening, I'm going to dissect Xi Jinping. Srinivas, thanks a lot. You've been so kind. Uh, Abhijit Iyer Mitra says dividing the Indian armed forces into theaters is a disastrous move for a two-front war. Well, if he feels so, yeah, let him. वो तो उसी से पूछो. मेरे से क्यों पूछ रहे हो? And Abhijit Iyer Mitra क्या है भाई? ना वो आर्मी वाला है. He's not a strategist. He's just a journalist. And if journalists have to have such views, let them have. I don't have to respond to him at all. Okay. Something which Mis- Mr. K. Subramaniam, who's the doyen of Indian strategic thinking, and especially the nuclear strategy thinking, and who's our external affairs minister's father, who taught me strategy when I was a bacha, felt that this is important. ये अभिजीत अय्यर मित्रा किस खेत का मूल्य है भाई? या अभिजीत, I should either believe अभिजीत अय्यर मित्रा और मिस्टर के सुब्रमण्यम. आप बताओ किसको मैं सुनूं? हम्म? और ये अगर थिएटर कमांड बना रहे हैं और अभिजीत अय्यर मित्रा says no, then Mr. Modi is a fool. Rajnath Singh is an idiot, and Chief of Defence Staff should be sent out. ऐसी बात नहीं होना चाहिए. ठीक है. इन्होंने कुछ देखा, कुछ लड़ाई किया. Has he ever seen a bullet flying in anger? तो I would request all of you, आप सुनिए, but please don't get their views here and say वो ऐसे बोलता है तो आपका क्या राय है? आप मेरा कोई यही राय है. हम जो भी करते हैं ये we do with, yesterday you heard, if you have heard, if you're not heard, go see that thing on Siliguri corridor which General KJ Singh and I discussed. It'll open your eyes. Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Raju. Vanakkam. So nice. JBJP sir, one thing I don't understand about our pacifist nature is if China can claim Ladakh, why don't we claim Tibet? What's stopping us? You don't claim Tibet because you already recognize Tibet as part of China. And Mr. Vajpayee signed on the MOU in 2003 when he went to China and with Deng Xiaoping. समझे? Jiang Zemin. With Jiang Zemin. So you can't reverse it. You need to have, you have a way to reverse it, but till you do get to that point, you can't. आपने हस्ताक्षर किया भाई एक एमओयू के ऊपर कि टिबेट इज पार्ट ऑफ चाइना एंड सिक्किम इज पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया. दैट वाज अ ट्रेड ऑफ. तो अभी आप वापस कैसे जा सकते हो? ओके. वो बात अलग है दैट दे स्टार्टेड क्लेमिंग अरुणाचल प्रदेश आफ्टर दैट एमओयू. So you have to make ground for that and start. Are we prepared to do it? पहले मणिपुर सॉर्ट आउट कर लो. ये तो सॉर्ट आउट नहीं होता आपसे. Yeah, AIM. Oh, forget. I don't get involved with them. यार ये ऐसे थोड़ी. Yeah, Raman Shukla. Aman Shukla. Okay. Hello, sir. How Indian Army is prepared for Pakistan border clashes? Pakistan is not fortifying any border infrastructure. ठीक है? Pakistan is nowhere near any clash. Don't worry. I saw the Siliguri episode. Is it possible for India to stop illegal cross-border migration from Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Nepal? It's not. It's not easy at all. By any stretch of imagination. Okay? If you go on ground, you can't. And with Nepal, you have an open border. It's a treaty you have. Okay? With Myanmar, that border is so... उसमें इतने जंगल हैं कि you cannot do it. So there are major issues. And no fences, no borders have stopped migration in the world through centuries. Some migration will happen, you have to accept it. Legal, illegal will happen. Okay? You have to control it, you have to manage it. Are we doing it well enough? That we can discuss. But the problem is, usme bhi so many other issues are there because this border management and migration control, customs hai, BSF hai, that force which controls the border hai, local state governments hai, local districts hai. You know how it is in our country. China is a is popular in South Africa as per Pew report? Well, it's their thing because South Africa is looking for money. They have squandered all the wealth they got when they converted, when they got rid of apartheid and the black majority ANC government came into play. Right? So they're looking for money, so China is good. But then let's see where they go. Abhijit Iyer, Mitra Lax, okay, leave him. Mehul Singh, great insights. Thanks a lot, Mehul. Gunners, hit the like button. Everyone, please. Yeah. And I need, hi, Veer Raghavan, I need more subscribers to the channel. I need more people to join. तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि I should start slowly, members only live chat uh, sometime. Let me see how it is. Or I want to put out all my videos at least 12 hours in advance for only members. I'll probably do that in a month or so. Yeah, I think you have expended your questions. I've heard Chinese analysts who mentioned that USA is seriously about China. It would just need to tear down the digital. Well, let's see where that thing goes. Okay, let's what does Veerraghavan say? Strength is the language China understands. Do we have comprehensive plans to improve our strengths, which will help us? Yeah, we have. Our economy is growing, and everything is growing. Our comprehensive national strength is growing. Our diplomatic strength is growing, and if you see, our like just BRICS, which I spoke, we all got the capability to stop China, and China we stopped, Chinese plans in Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So there is. Veeragwan, please see those episodes I did on the global power matrix. Today, India is a global player. Let's not have any doubts about it. Okay, Ashish Yogul. So even though India is the fifth largest economy, some people in Europe still believe that India is dependent on European aid. How well, many people in Europe will feel so because Europe, if you go anywhere, unless you start speaking to them, they don't understand where you stand. And I've seen this quite often in many places. I remember the time when I went to USA and I was studying in the Naval Postgraduate School. Initially, people used to look at me like an idiot. By the time I finished the course out there, they said, "Oh, we got a brilliant officer from India." I was not brilliant. I was just talking normal common sense. So you have to change their perceptions. That's about all, and it'll change automatically. It'll change. You see, Prime Minister, how much he's changed the perception of people. So it'll happen. Okay, don't you have to be patient. Yeah, you've been part of the army whole life. Which five reforms would you like leadership to do other than theaterization? You have to give a thought. As many opposition blames government succumbing to China and border and China playing by suddenly using Bali consensus. What is the truth, sir? Well, look, that Bali consensus, if our Prime Minister and Xi Jinping have met, it's okay. So what if this happens? Now everything need not go to the press. They must have spoken on something, which is okay. And you must remember, before this, they've met about 8 to 10 times. They know each other. So that's okay. And the government will, opposition's job is to blame this. Only problem what I have with the opposition is they're shrill and vocal about it. And what the problem with the government is, they're not coming clean. Both sides are a problem. And it's more political. This problem is more political. If our politics was not so polarized as it is, things would be better. That's what I hope so. Pankaj Sinha says, respected sir, what happens when China becomes a democracy and returns to Buddhism and Tibetans are free? That's a good question to ask, but I don't think it will happen in my lifetime. अगर आपके लाइफ टाइम में होगा तो शायद आई डोंट नो बट मेरे ख्याल में अगले 30-40 साल तक होने का ये मुश्किल है क्योंकि किसी चीज डेमोक्रेसी होने के लिए यू नीड अ अपोजिंग फोर्स वो अपोजिंग फोर्स है ही नहीं राइट शानू Good evening. Joining late and was also not active for the last 3 days due to internet shutdown in my hometown, Darbhanga. Okay, I thought internet shutdown is only in Manipur. यहाँ भी हो गया. चलो, all the best. Come back. Welcome back. This thing. Yeah. Oh, amount of work I put out, work like a lion. What time do you get to bed? I don't. I exercise daily. In fact, I go for a walk for 1 hour. I walk 5 to 6 kilometers daily. Regularly, I sweat and come back and do. I don't do too much. I spend a couple of hours on all this because most of the time I start making. When I read, I pick up things and I start putting them in a PPT. And after 2 3 days, I put them together and I come out with it. It's not a. It's a habit. Uh, After hearing you talk, it appears that my Mr. Bajpayee made a mistake by accepting Tibet as part of China. It is and not. Okay. It was a good thing उस वक्त. मैं आपको बताता हूँ क्यों उन्होंने किया है. Why did we accept it? उन दिनों में पाकिस्तान was the problem. पार्लियामेंट का अटैक हो गया था, अक्षरधाम पे अटैक हो गया था. पठानकोट और उरी तो अभी हुए हैं. उससे पहले वो कालूचक में आके इन्होंने हमारे फैमिलीज के ऊपर वार किया था. रत्नोचक में भी ये हुआ. So we had a lot of problems with Pakistan. Pakistan was our main problem, and with China, we said we'll get into some kind of a friendship and hoping to mend fences with China. Now that was the right reason. By doing so, क्या हुआ कि we could take out forces from the eastern border and put them against Pakistan and shout out Pakistan. This is just the aftermath of the Kargil event and Parakram of Parakram, 2003. Right. So I don't think he did a wrong thing. You have to do trade-off when you have two enemies. किसी के साथ तो करना पड़ेगा. At that time, Pakistan was on a high. It was getting a lot of money from America, from USA and all. अभी हालत बदल गए, तो हम भी बदल जाते हैं. उसमें क्या है? ठीक. तो ऐसी बात नहीं है. हमें उससे शांति मिला है सिक्किम में. सिक्किम का देखिए कितना बदलाव हो गया. Sikkim has become a prosperous state. In fact, we got a lot of leeway in the northeast. Northeast has changed after that. Yeah, Manipur has got into a problem. That's a different story. That is now. But see the progress which has happened in Manipur. I mean, northeast. So there is, yeah. With continued purges of his top brass, Z is making his own echo chamber for himself. Yeah, we'll talk of Z next week. Why has there been slow progress on Bilaspur, Mandi, Leh, Mesamari, Tawang rail lines? Paisa. You don't have that much money. You have to go slow. And plus, those areas are all also in the Himalayan terrain, Hamari or is very slippery. You can't, it takes long time to lay railway lines and roads and all that, unlike in Tibet. In Tibet, it's flat and hard. Permafrost sets in, and you can do permafrost, use permafrost technologies to lay out infrastructure. हमारे यहाँ the Himalayas are steep, lot of rains. इससे क्या है कि landslides, mudslides ज़्यादा होते हैं. You can't, your progress will always be slow. And that will actually, whatever infrastructure you have will enable you to go up on top and defend the thing. It also limits Chinese incursion if it ever happens, but it doesn't. The reverse is not true. It allows you, if you can build up to the border, you can go into Tibet. Tomorrow, if you want to go into an offensive, you can go into Tibet. They can't come this side. That's the difference. Russia and China went to North Korea for its Victory Day parade. Do you think a trilateral? No, I don't think so. Incidentally, North Korea and India have good relations. Okay. At one point of time, everyone was using India to speak to North Korea. So don't rule it out. Real politics says that two great powers can't be neighbors. Don't you think China will try to seriously harm India before we gain power? It will try. That's what was tried in Eastern Ladakh. It didn't happen. Today, what you're saying is right. Two great powers have never grown with together next to each other ever in the history of mankind. Two civilizational powers. So the chances are there. There's no doubt. But at this point of time, I don't think China is in a position to come with a great thing. Small, yes. We'll discuss this. I'll discuss this in detail, right? Because I think this one has to understand China more to say why they can't do a great war. Yeah, Manipur to sort out कर लो. Yes. Chebrol Subbarao. Shankar Garu, we have to understand one thing that the people who are giving commentary on others' videos in Hindi are having 500,000 subscribers. I advise you turn your channel to completely. देखिए सुब्बाराव जी, मैं हिंदी में बात कर सकता हूँ completely, पर बाकी जो है उनका क्या होगा? ये जो 500,000 सब्सक्राइबर्स अचानक तो नहीं आते, ये टाइम लगता है ना? टाइम लगता है। सिर्फ हिंदी में बात करने से अगर हम मैं सोचता हूँ कि 500 और 500 के सब्सक्राइबर आएंगे, नहीं आएंगे। तो धीरे धीरे करना उचित होगा। आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम। धीरे धीरे पीपल विल ज्वाइन। आप 10 आदमियों को बताइए, दे विल ज्वाइन। वो 10 आदमी धीरे 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 करेंगे। अभी लुक, आई टोल्ड यू, आई जस्ट started this 5 months back. 5 months back, I never thought I'll have a YouTube channel. I was happy writing. First 2 months, I was a little half-hearted. Something happened, and I said, "Let me go at it." So we are okay. Let me tell you from day the sec for the past 3 months, 2 3 months, each video has almost doubled the number of views it is getting. उससे ज़्यादा, one shouldn't grow so fast. And I am not a showman. Yeah. Forget. वो सब, we've gone past that. Yeah, Henry Kissinger. I'll talk of it in a different thing. Yeah. Salute, sir. Apart from tweeting, please let me know ideas to increase the members and visibility because the topic is serious, devoid of entertainment. Apart from month to month, that's all. I mean, agar aap sab log, if you put your hands together and all of you start tweeting, and all of you start, liking, automatically traffic will improve. It is not as if traffic is not improving. It is improving. Every day I get about 30 odd people joining, 30 to 40. And on some days it's more, some days it's less. That's okay. So I have to be patient. We have to be patient. I'm sure more will join. If all of you say कि आप सब मिल के अगर आपके दोस्तों को बोलेंगे कि सब्सक्राइब करो तो सब्सक्रिप्शन बढ़ेंगे, मेरे को डाउट ही नहीं है उसके बारे में. Okay, let me see. New ones, Vijay Kakade. Right. Good evening, sir. My question: why Ukraine tanks are falling prey to a lot of mines? Why are they not clearing it before going for the offensive? उनको पता नहीं होगा कहाँ है mines. Maybe they don't have mine clearing equipment. Maybe the Russians have, camouflaged them well. तो ये हमें पता नहीं. Actually, these things are, small things on ground which we really don't know. So that's how it is. Yeah, live on episode on live inside Army Jawan Ops. Okay, let me see. Let me try. Hmm. People can deal. Chinese people can deal with economic growth. Winter Indians can change parties. Indians leaders eat less with growth falls off a cliff. Now that China is tapering, will they hold? Look, China will go into problems. How that's going to affect the whole thing is we don't know. Outcomes we don't know. बट आई एम गोइंग टू डू दैट्स. देखिए, ये जो चैनल मैंने शुरू किया इज टू अंडरस्टैंड चाइना बेटर. होल स्टोरी कि भाई चाइना को वी अंडरस्टैंड बेटर बिकॉज वी डोंट understand China. And I am not a clairvoyant. Just because I've done a channel, I'm doing a channel and I read about China, I know everything about China. I don't. But इतना मेरे को पता है कि जो भी मैंने प्रेडिक्ट किया चाइना के बारे में 3 साल पहले, अब आज तक इट इज हेल्ड. आई एम वेरी क्लियर ऑन सर्टेन थिंग्स अबाउट चाइना, दैट्स व्हाई आई शेयर, एंड वट एवर आई एम सेइंग इज हैपनिंग, राइट? So that's how it is. Yeah, love your calm and cool way of explaining things. Oh yeah, thank you. देखिए, in strategic thinking, it's not a matter of I should shout more or चिल्ला चिल्ला के बोलो या extremist positions ले लो. Strategic thinking में you have to be cool. You have to be cool under fire. What army has taught me: be cool under fire. I'll give you a story. Uh, this is something totally different from this thing, but I'll tell you how I learned. I was in counter insurgency ops. हमने एक militant leader को पकड़ा था, very influential and a deadly militant leader. He had done 2-3 ambushes, and in the ambushes which he had done, he'd finished off the entire people whom we were ambushing. Twice, he finished off about 12-13 people in each ambush. So this fellow was, when part of our interrogation, we asked him, yeah, you've done all these ambushes, but you've not ambushed army. He said, sir, I will not ambush army. हमने पूछा क्यों ambush नहीं करोगे? क्योंकि आर्मी बड़ा ट्रेंड है. मैंने कहा क्यों ट्रेंड है? आप क्यों बोल रहे हो? See, I had told everyone कि start firing daily. Every day, each post must be firing and training for firing. Even the cook will fire. Even the drivers will fire. Everyone in a camp must be doing firing daily, training. Because we could train, so we trained. Even if one chap has to train, he will train. So it came to a level that all my posts in my brigade knew how to fire. And they were confident of their weapon. They used to sleep with their weapon. अगर वो कुक आटा चावल बना रहा था, चपाती बना रहा था, उसके बगल में वेपन था. जब उसको और कोई काम नहीं था, he used to take his weapon, go and fire, and train, come back. Okay. And when someone was training, he used to listen and say, "अच्छा वहाँ firing हो रहा है वहाँ." His senses got used to the idea of firing. His entire reaction to fire, he got used to it. He knew how to handle the weapon better, and overall, he was a better soldier, confident soldier. कि कोई कुछ होगा तो, and whenever there was a thing, he would react fast because naturally reactions वगैरह sharpen हो गए थे. ये मिलिटेंट्स हमें देख रहे थे उन दिनों, क्योंकि मिलिटेंट्स तो हैं, दे आर ऑल राउंड. हमें क्या पता है कौन मिलिटेंट नहीं मिलिटेंट है. तो ये सब हमें और ये देख रहे थे. ये हम उसने दिस चैप सेड, सर आपके जवान जो है ना बड़ा ट्रेंड है. आप जिस तरीके से कॉन्वॉय में जाते हो, सबका हथियार बाहर होता है. अगर हमारा एम्बुश नाकाम हो गया तो हम सब मारे जाएंगे. और एक हुआ था, एक उन्होंने ट्राई किया था हमारे साथ एम्बुश करना, और उस एम्बुश में हमने चेप दिया इनको, क्योंकि दैट पार्टी विच हैड गॉन, which they were trying to ambush, was absolutely alert and cool. So they broke the ambush and brought severe casualties on the other fellow. The moment that happened, they ran. So he told us all this. Then I realized, KR, you have to be absolutely super cool during all situations. And that's what I used to tell my people. Be cool. Thande dimag se socho. Same thing here. In life, you have to be cool. You have to analyze. You have to think under battle. So when things are happening, you have to see behind what's happening, come to the right thing. I hope I've given all of you my way of looking at life. And ये मेरा ही नहीं, I'm not unique. जितने हमारे चैनल में आते हैं ऐसे ही हैं. ये सोचते हैं हम. We are trained to, think under fire. That's how it is. Okay, I seen all of the questions are the same. JBJP, your channel will ultimately become historic and famous because it's the first time in 75 years that an Indian general has started directly talking to people. I agree with you, and I hope so. And I hope so not because of the fact that I'm an Indian general speaking for the first time to my people, but I feel Yet, this is my conviction that if people like me don't tell us, you, we are all together, what's the truth about India? What's the strength about India? What's the weakness about the rest of the jokers? How will we go forward as a nation? I've seen the love and affection which my people have for me when I mobilized from the east to the north. I've seen how our men, when I say our men, Indians, all of you, have helped me in my time of need. When was my time of need? When I was going to war. And they had blind faith in me. I have blind faith in the India. I have blind faith in Indians. Okay. I I do this only because India needs to be better than what it is. It is better than what it is a different story, but we need to be all better and better informed and do better things. That's why I keep requesting. Please tell your friends to join. And whatever money I get out of this, I'm going to educate girls who cannot afford education. I've already been doing it from my pension. I'll do more. That's all. Because there comes a point in time in life where you have to give it back to people. Okay? Because this nation and all of you have given me enough. Right? Thanks a lot. Oh, Meenakshi, my Jai Hind sir, lovely to listen to you. Thank you. Keep it up, Meenakshi. Please come back. Tell your friends also to join in. Right? Thanks a lot for listening in. So tomorrow I'm away. I have to go for a board meeting to Bombay. Come back. I don't know whether I'll come out with anything. I will not come out with anything. But day after, I'm going to talk of Xi Jinping. Might be a longish talk, but I want a lot of you to come and get your friends and join in. DP Jai Hind, and theaterization is going well, Pampa, don't worry. Good evening and Jai Hind to all of you. Have a great Sunday evening or wherever you are. Thank you. Bye.